Hello everyone. In this session, we will continue our discussion of evidence of evolution of life forms. In the last session, we completed studying the divergent evolution and convergent evolution. So in this class, let me start the evolution by natural selection. Before going to describe this headline, let me tell you two situations here. Two situations or two examples. From my point of view, consider this as an example. So, example in sense what has happened during 1850s and after that in 1920. So, I am going to write the two situations here during 1850s and in 1920. So, this period is considered as, let me write one by one, before industrialization. Okay, which period it is? It is a period of formation of construction of industries, before construction of industries. How was the life? How was the organisms' life? So that, only taking one example, I am going to write few description here only to make you understand how the evolution has occurred by means of natural selection. So this is also an evidence for the evolution of life forms, and this period is known as after industrialization. Just consider yourself, just imagine yourself. How was the life before industrialization? Everything like nothing, none of the area got polluted. Everything was in a form of green and unpolluted manner. So that situations I am going to write one by one. Okay, maybe in the last class 11, maybe you remember or not, I don't know. So we discussed about the lichens, I guess. When the lichens forms, when the lichens grow only in those areas where the pollution is not present. So before industrialization, when the pollution was not at all present, the lichens used to grow on the tree. Just consider this is the tree trunk. Okay, on the tree trunk, not only on the tree trunk, number of places the lichens used to grow, but here I am taking the example on the tree trunk. It has grown to a thick manner. In the thick manner, it has grown itself. Okay, so this is the second description what I am writing here in the period of 1850. So the lichens has grown on the tree trunk, which shows an image of a white color image. It shows. Okay, just consider if the lichens has grown to maximum extent, the lichens, because of the covering of these lichens and also because of the absence of pollution, the tree trunk is not at all brown, not much brown. No, it is somewhat a white color. Okay, so somewhat it is white color. The third description under 1850 is, don't forget, we are in the evolution by natural selection. So what I'm writing here, I'm writing the two situations. One is before industrialization during the period of 1850. One more situation is after industrialization in the period of 1920. Okay, so the England, like in the area, the scientists used to collect the moths, a number of white moths during this period. Maximum number of white moths they used to see in that area, and the melanin moths are very less in number. Concentrate on my words. White moths are very much, the white moths population is maximum, and melanin moths are dark moths. Because of the pollution, somewhat pollution, they become dark in color. When those white moths sits on the lichen covered tree trunk, can you see the moths over there? The background is white and the moth color is also white. The prey cannot find the moth, so that it become a camouflage. Camouflage means what? It is going to escape from the prey. It is going to hide to the background. It is known as camouflage. Why so? Because the white background is also white. The color of the moth is also white. So that the population has increased. The capturing the prey cannot find these moths, so that the population increases. The surviving chances of survive has increased. So these are the description what I am going to write here in the period of 1850s. It means before industrialization. The black color moth, why the number of black color moth has less? When those black color moth sits on those kind of tree trunk, the prey can easily find out those moths, and they used to eat these type of black moths. Okay, so this is one condition. Alright, so that's why the moths population got less. Now I am going to write the next situation. That is in the period of 1920. It means after industrialization, lichens reduced its number. Lichens used to extinct its number. Lichens used to grow only in the pollution free areas. When after industrialization, because of the release of some soot and some smoke, release of smoke and soot from the industries, the area become dark. The area means what? In the area trees will be present and other obstacles or any of the things which is present in the surrounding area or in that place, that will become dark. No doubt the tree trunks also converted, or because of the deposition of these kind of smoke and soots, the tree trunks also changed their color because of the settlement of the smokes and unpolluted particles on the tree trunks. They become dark in color. Okay, so just follow this situation here. When on these kind of tree trunks, when white moths comes and sit on those dark tree trunk, the predator can easily capture those kind of moth. They cannot hide themselves, right? So they cannot hide themselves. So I'll write one line here. The predators will spot a moth against a contrasting background. Predators can spot a moth against a contrasting background. So this is the situation. Because of this situation, the population of white moth extincted. The white moth population gradually decreased. Meantime, the melanin deposited moth population increases, or you can consider like that, because of the release of smoke and soot, or the wings of the moth became it got deposited by the smoke and soot. The color of the moths turns to black or brown. Okay, so from this line, let me write few more description. Later I'll come to the conclusion. So the tree trunk has got changed their color, and white moth population decrease, melanin moth population increased. Okay, so here what you can write here, what you can understand here, what you have to understand here, the moths, if they start depositing the melanin pigment, if they start depositing this kind of smokes and soots, they can escape from the predator. So time to time, from one duration to another duration, if we change ourselves, if we adopt to the surrounding environment, we can survive. And if we naturally select the offspring, and if we start adapting the environment, we can give rise to many offspring. Okay, so this is also one example for evolution. In 1850s, what kind of moths were present? Your white color moths were present. Only because of the surrounding environment, it got adopted to that environment. Only for the survival, only to produce the natural progeny, it got adapted to the surrounding environment. When it starts adapting the surrounding environment, when it becomes dark in color, it can escape from the predator, and so that it can give rise to many offsprings, and also it can select its partner naturally. Okay, so this is the better method of survival for fittest. So maybe in the million years ago, the living organisms, number of living organisms may got extincted because of this kind of reasons, and some of the organisms which look somewhat other color or somewhat other shape, maybe it got changed itself only to adapt to the surrounding environment. It has taken to other shape and other, it has adopted itself to other shape and other color and all. So this is how you have to write the two situations. If they ask to write the evolution by naturals, how the organisms adopt themselves and how the evolution of natural selection occurs. If they ask like that, you have to write this situation, this example. Don't write your own example, don't write your own description, whatever there in the NCERT, you have to follow that. And maybe you remember the agriculture's pharmacists, they used to put the herbicides and pesticides. What is the purpose of sprinkling the herbicides and pesticides on the on the plants, on the cultivating plants and all? Why so? Because the herbicides and pesticides, they are going to kill the disease causing organisms, disease causing prokaryotes or eukaryotes or bacteria, fungi, those kind of organisms. Maybe they killed by the herbicides and pesticides. What will happen if those prokaryotes, those disease causing organisms, if they build resistance towards herbicides and pesticides? What will happen? So that you have to collect the information from your own and send it to me. Let me continue in the next class. Thank you.